Fear that I could lose my job. My business could collapse. I could run out of money. Fear that if I go for my dreams, what will they think of me? Who am I to do this? I'm going to look like an idiot. I'm going to look like a fool. Fear that she'll leave me. I could be alone forever. I might not ever find the one for me. Fear that I could get sick. I could get a disease. I could die. I could lose my mind. But what about all the political instability and polarization of society? Aren't we on a brink of a civil war? I mean, what about climate change? Everybody seems to have forgotten about climate change. Weren't we supposed to be heading towards a brick wall at 90 miles per hour and no one's talking about it, and we're doing just that and ignoring the issue, and the environment might collapse? Aren't we supposed to be in the 6th mass extinction? And what about Yellowstone Park? Isn't that due? Overdue for an eruption? And then apparently there's asteroids just flying around that we haven't detected yet, capable of smashing into the Earth and ending civilization in a millisecond. There's so much to fear. Some of you may or may not know, but I used to be someone who suffered from severe panic attacks. And when I say severe panic attacks, I really mean it. They were dark. They felt more like seizures than panic attacks. I used to think I was going to lose my mind, and I was often on the borderline of calling up 999 or whatever the emergency service number is in your country and saying, give me some benzos right now because, I need this mind and my heart to slow down. Otherwise, I think I'm going to have a heart attack or a brain hemorrhage. Now, I'm not saying I'm someone who never experiences fear anymore. Quite the contrary. I'm human, and as we transition through life and we come across new challenges, it triggers these old patterns, these old fears within us. But the point is, the frame around it is completely different now, and I definitely don't have the panic attacks like I used to. And there was one thing that helped me the most. And so I want to share this with you, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to transcend fear with presence. And just a very quick announcement before we get straight into it. A few more slots have opened up for the free one-to-one with me to see if you'd be a good fit for the Consciousness Revolution program. A one-to-one coaching program with me to help you create your life from a place of inner peace and calm. So go to speaktoalex.com and book a time for us to speak, or wait till the end of the video for more details. So in order to transcend fear, we first need to answer the question, what even is fear? Specifically, what is fear made of? Go to your experience. Fear is an emotion, specifically in the form of sensations with the body, with corresponding fearful thoughts. Thoughts that are catastrophizing about the future. Thoughts that include mental imagery and a narrative or a story about a future that isn't welcome. And thoughts that the emotion, in the form of sensations within the body, these sensations are unwelcome. You say, I don't want this, and you try and push them away. And these emotions and corresponding thoughts can come in big, short, sharp waves in the form of panic attacks, or can come as smaller, longer, drawn out waves in the form of, perhaps a generalized anxiety. And of course, you can ask yourself the question, am I in legitimate danger right now? Of course, if you're in a burning building, you're going to feel some fear. It's going to provoke you to take action to escape. But most of the time, for most of us, these fearful sensations and corresponding thoughts are just catastrophizing about a future that we have no guarantee that it will even come true. And a lot of the times, these fears are unfounded. Yes, they're linked back to ancestral or primal fears about losing our life if we were to go out there and speak out amongst the tribe. Perhaps we might have even been exiled from the tribe, and that exile could have meant death. But of course, public speaking now is one of our biggest fears for most people, and yet, are we in any major danger? Are we going to get stoned or ousted from the tribe? Of course not. And yet, those fears rise to the surface. Or it could be that you had some experience in the past where you felt hurt or harmed or violated, and now situations that trigger the memory of that trigger fear within you. Or it could just be that because of your conditioning on some level, you're catastrophizing about a future that A, you have no guarantee is even going to come true, and B, if it does come true, may not be as bad as you even think it will be. So now we know we're not in any immediate danger, even though it might feel like we are. We need to come back to the present moment and see the fear for what it really is. Break the fear down. See that it is the emotion in the form of sensations within the body, however intense, and these corresponding thoughts. And the thing to do is to experience the emotion, experience the sensations within the body before the thought that says they're unwelcome or I don't want this or is trying to push them away. And I understand that the emotion, the feelings, the sensations within the body can be very, very intense, especially during a panic attack. Believe me, I've been there many times. The absolute tidal wave of adrenaline flowing through the body, the super uncomfortable energetic sensations that feel almost unbearable, the butterflies in the stomach, this impending sense of dread just moving through the experience. But however intense these sensations are, they can't kill you and they can't harm what you essentially are. Even the most intense fear cannot kill you unless you allow it to control your thinking and then end up carrying out some destructive behavior associated with those thoughts. So know that as intense as it might seem, it can't harm you. And to actually become interested in the fear prior to the thoughts that say the fearful emotions are unwelcome. Actually experience the energy sensations within the body. Actually break it down by giving some attention to it. Actually allowing it to exist within that space that you are. Actually even possibly welcoming it a little bit. Not taking the thoughts seriously that may periodically keep rising up as you try to hold the space for that emotion. Sometimes it can feel very intense and then the mind rises back up. These fearful thoughts come back in and it's almost as if they try and trick you into identifying with them. But every time that happens, you're like, whoa, okay, just zoom out. That's another fearful thought associated with this emotion, and come back to being the space. Come back to being the awareness that you essentially are. You have your thoughts about yourself and about your life situation, and then you have the one who experiences those thoughts. There you have the awareness that those thoughts arise within, the awareness that you essentially are. And so be that awareness, be that space, allow these sensations to exist within you, and through the light of your awareness, they will gradually dissolve. they may seem like they get worse initially, a little bit worse, because you're not trying to push them away with distractions anymore. You're not trying to flick your mind all over the place in order to get away from these sensations. So once you put some attention on it, once you become that space that this feeling exists within, then the feeling has a chance to show itself a little bit. And that can feel uncomfortable, but it will eventually dissolve with the light of your awareness. And in fact, there will come a point in your life where you're glad you had it, if you use it to awaken you from the dream of thought, to awaken you from thoughts about your life to your actual life. Because 99% of people are going around with all their attention zoomed in on a story about their lives and spending hardly any time in the present moment with their life. And so this fear can act as your savior, can act as your grace, when you use it as a signpost to point you back to who you really are, that formless, aware space, the presence, and the ability to be present. That recognition of yourself as the presence, as the awareness that your life appears within, will liberate you from untold amounts of suffering. So that concludes the video, but before you go, a little bit more detail on the Consciousness Revolution program, a one-to-one coaching program with me, where we use presence to transcend the overthinking, the fears, the doubts, the insecurity, the low self-esteem, to arrive at a place of balanced inner peace and calm, so we can take action to consciously create our lives. Everybody who comes into the program has different wants and needs and different things that they want to overcome. So if you open up a new tab on your browser and go to speaktoalex.com, there's a section on there where don't just write a few words, give us a bit of detail on where you're at, what you want to overcome, what you want to achieve on this program. Then we can book a quick time for us to chat about solving your problems. And with that being said, if this video helped you, or even if it didn't help you, drop a comment below so we can learn from each other and grow. And of course, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and that little notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new videos helping you with conscious personal growth. Peace.